Hello students, welcome back to the channel Biopulse. This is Chandrika. Today is day 28 of our journey, 40 days journey, and we are discussing the chapter Chemical Control and Coordination. Our body needs a system to control and coordinate different activities smoothly. While the nervous system works fast using electrical impulses and then signals, the body also uses a slower but long lasting method that is called what? Chemical coordination. And this is done by specialized chemicals called what? Hormones. Okay now, which are secreted by endocrine glands like pituitary, thyroid and adrenal glands. So these hormones travel through the blood to targeted organs and help regulate the important functions like growth, metabolism, reproduction and then stress response. So in this chapter we will learn how hormones work and then role of different kind of the endocrine glands and how they maintain the balance in the body with very short tricks also. So here this chapter is one of the interesting chapter I can say, because you must memorize much more hormone names and then their work and then from which organ they are going to be released. So like that, memory based chapter I can say this one. Okay na? So let's dive in for the chapter, that is chemical coordination, chemical control and coordination. And here is the first question from Human Endocrine System introduction. So first question, the organ system that helps regulate the metabolic activities through section of the hormone is A. Cardiovascular system, B. Endocrine system, C. Nervous system and then D. Digestive system. So here the right option is option B. Endocrine system. It's a network of the glands that produce and release hormones. These chemical messengers travel throughout the bloodstream to various organs and tissues to regulate what? Essential body processes like I can say metabolism, growth, reproduction, sleep and then mood cycle, everything. Okay, next question, that is question number 2. The nervous and endocrine system interact to coordinate the functions of all the body systems and help to maintain A. Homeostasis, B. Reflex action, C. Fight and then flight response, D. Stress response. So here the right option is option A. Homeostasis. What is actually homeostasis? Here nervous and then endocrine system work together for maintenance of the homeostasis, which is the state of steady internal physical and then chemical condition maintained by the living system. Means homeo means same, status means state of the steady of the internal and physical and chemical condition of the body. Next, third question, responses of the endocrine system are dash and then responses of the nervous system. Responses of the endocrine system are slower and long lasting than the responses of the nervous system. So slower and long lasting. Here the right option is option C. Next, fourth question, which of the following statements correctly differentiate the endocrine and nervous system? The endocrine system regulates all types of blood cells. Nerve fibers innervate all the body cell types. Endocrine system acts on the specific muscle cells only. D. The influence of the nervous system is much broader. So here the right option is option A. The endocrine system regulates all types of the body cells. Next, fifth question, both neurotransmitters and hormones A. produce a slower response, B. bind to receptor on or in their target cells, C. are transported by the interstitial fluid, D. produce a rapid response. So here both neurotransmitters and then hormones are bind to receptors on or in the target cells. Next question, question number 6. Consider the following statements. A. Exocrine glands are the ductless glands. So here he is given false, this one, because exocrines are not ductless, they are endocrines are the ductless one. Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Exocrine glands use ducts to transport their secretions to the specific surfaces, isn't it? Next, B. Sweat glands and gastric glands release their secretion directly into the blood. This one is also false because both sweat gland and then gastric glands are exocrine glands. So both are wrong. Consider the following statement. Select the correct option he is asking. So here both are false. A and B both are false. So the right option is option C. Next question, that is question number 7. Which of the following gland types is correctly matched with its example? A. Adrenal gland. It is exocrine gland he is given, but it is not exo, it is endo. So this one is wrong. Placenta, he is given exocrine gland. This is also endo. So, somewhat it is actually act like a temporary endocrine gland, secreting HCG. Pancreas, it is an endocrine gland only, he is said, but pancreas is heterocrine, that is it's called as mixed gland. Whereas thyroid, it is endocrine gland. Yes, thyroid, it is pure endocrine gland that produce hormones like what? Thyroxine and triiodothyroxine, that is T4 and T3. Next, 8th one. Which of the following statement about hormone is or are correct? Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals. Yes, correct. They do not provide energy or else building materials like macronutrients. They just act strictly as a regulatory signals. Okay, now. So next, hormones act as a intercellular messengers. Yes, of course they act as a intercellular messengers. They are the secreted into bloodstream or a fluid, I can say, to communicate between the different cells and then organs. Hormones are produced in trace amount. Yes, of course they are highly potent and then effective in the very low concentration. Last one, hormones may be proteins, steroids, glycoproteins and biogenic amines. This one is incorrect actually, because this one this is not biogenic amines, it must be biogenic amines, isn't it? So because of that word, only 1, 2 and then 3 statements are right here. Next, from the endocrine gland, from here onwards glands are going to be start. Assertion reason type of question. Slightly at the side I gave you to remember the glands of endocrine glands, tricks, a short trick. Lately I will explain about that. Let us deal with the question first. 9th question, assertion and reason. The nervous system produces a delayed response that lasts for a longer period. This one is false actually. The nervous system produces fast and then immediate response, okay, that are very typically very short lived. It is endocrine system we actually call. Reason, neurotransmitters are released from the postsynaptic neuron. This one is true. So here assertion is wrong and then reason is true. That's what we will go with. Assertion is false and then reason is true, that is D. So here I gave you list of the endocrine glands. How you remember? Please play table tennis and practice. Please play table tennis and practice. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, thymus, adrenal and pancreas. Okay, no? PPTTAP. PPTTAP, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, thymus, adrenal and pancreas. These all are comes under endocrine glands. Next question, that is question number 30. Which of the following statement is false? A. Hormones provide chemical coordination, integration and regulation in the human body. Yes. Hormones regulate metabolism, growth and the development of our organs. Right. Besides hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid and adrenal, parathyroid, thymus, etc., GIT, heart and then kidney, etc., also produce hormones. Yes, of course, this one is right. Hormones can be used again and again like biocatalysts. So this one is wrong, because hormones are destroyed or inactivated after they are performed their specific functions. They cannot be used again and again. So among them, which one is false means this one, D is false. Hormones cannot be used again and again. Next, from hypothalamus. The small part of the brain that is present below the thalamus and serves as main link between the nervous and endocrine system is A. Pons, B. Hypothalamus, C. Brain system, D. Medulla oblongata. So here the right option is option B. 12th question. Consider the following event. A. Production of regulatory hormone from neurosecretory cell. B. Hormones are secreted into the portal system. C. Hormones move down the axons to the axon ending. Arrange them in a sequencing order and select the correct option. So here first comes production of the regulatory hormones. Next comes hormones move down to the axons to the axon ending, isn't it? After A, next C, then left is only B. So A, C, B is correct. So the right option is option B. Next question, that is question number 13. The hormones produced by hypothalamic nuclei regulate the function of the anterior pituitary, regulate the function of the posterior pituitary, regulate the function of the both anterior and posterior pituitary. D. Inhibits the secretion of posterior pituitary hormone. So here the right option is option C. Next, 14th question. Which of the following statement about hypothalamic hormone is incorrect? He is asking incorrect. Hypothalamic releasing hormone stimulate the secretion of anterior pituitary hormone. Yes, right. Like TRH and then GnRH, isn't it? Next, hypothalamic releasing hormones stimulate the secretion of the posterior pituitary hormone. This one is incorrect, because the posterior pituitary doesn't produce its own hormone and it is not controlled by the releasing hormone. That's what, instead of that it stores and then releases hormones like oxytocin and ADH. So this one itself is wrong. So the right option will be option B. Next, 15th one. 15th question, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH, a hypothalamic hormone needed in reproduction, acts on, where it is acts on the posterior pituitary gland and then stimulates secretion of the LH and then relaxin. No, the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of LH and oxytocin. The anterior pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of LH and FSH. This one is right. So the right option is option C, because the source is gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is secreted by the hypothalamus, and where it is going to be targeted, it is going to be targeting anterior pituitary. It is going to be targeting anterior pituitary gland to produce what? Luteinizing hormone and then follicular stimulating hormone. That's what the C option is right. Next, 16th one. Which of the following hypothalamic hormone is incorrectly matched with its function? Incorrectly matched. Thyrotropin releasing hormone stimulates secretion of thyroid. Yes, this one is right. Prolactin inhibiting hormone, PIH means prolactin inhibiting hormone, suppresses the secretion of the prolactin. Yes, this is right, and it is also called as dopamine. Next, GHRH, that is growth hormone and releasing hormone. It stimulates secretion of the growth hormones, right? Last one, that is CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, stimulates the release of the prolactin. See, this is wrongly matched. Whereas CRH, it stimulates adrenocorticotropic hormone, that is ACTH, not prolactin. Okay, na? That's what the incorrect match is, D. Next, 17th question. How many of the following are correct? Somatostatin is released from hypothalamus. Correct. Hypothalamic hormones reach the pituitary gland through. Yes, this one is also correct. And then third one, anterior pituitary is under direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. This one is wrong because posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation, not the anterior pituitary, because anterior pituitary is regulated hormonally via portal systems. Okay, now so this one is wrong here. How many are correct? Only 1 and 2 are correct, so the right option will be option B. Next, 18th one. Portal blood vessels connect the dash to the dash. Portal blood vessels connect to the hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary. Hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary. So here the right option is option C. Next, from pituitary glands, 19th question. The pituitary gland is a P-shaped gland that lies in the hypophyseal fossa of A. Scylla turcica of the glenoid bone, B. Scylla turcica of the sphenoid bone, Scylla turcica of the parietal bone, and then D. Scylla turcica of the frontal bone. So here the right option is option B. What actually this Scylla means? Scylla turcica. Actually this is a Latin word which is very hard to pronounce. Turkish saddle it means. Okay, na? Hypophyseal fosses or else hypophyseal fossa, the specific seat of the saddle where the gland rests. Okay, na? So here some of the pituitary hormones I gave. Pituitary hormone is called as what? Master gland, and it produces hormones like GH, TSH, ACTH, FSH, LH, and PRL and MSH. And here the one line statement which you can remember very easily: great teacher always finds lovely pretty students like me and like you. You all are pretty students, isn't it? That I found. So here you can remember, great teacher always finds lovely pretty students. Here great, that is growth hormone, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, ACTH, FSH, LH, PRL, that is prolactin, and then MSH. Great teacher always finds lovely pretty students. This is for pituitary gland remembering statement. Next, 20th question. The pituitary gland is connected to the hypothalamus by A. infundibulum, B. bony cavity, C. hyaline cartilage, D. elastic cartilage. So it is connected with the infundibulum. Next diagram is given, and here following is the diagrammatic representation of the pituitary gland, and it's connected with the hypothalamus. Select the correct option regarding the same. So here first one is anterior pituitary, that is adrenohypophysis, and then second one is posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary, that is composed of epithelial tissue, he is showing this one. So here why first one is not going to happen, because yes, of course, this is anterior pituitary, that is composed of neural tissue he is given, but it is not composed of neural tissue, it is composed of epithelial tissue. So the right option will be option B. Why C? Because it's not at all second one, posterior pituitary, that is composed of epithelial tissue he is given. Actually posterior pituitary is correct, but which is not composed of neural tissue. It is composed of neural tissue, not the epithelial tissue. And here posterior pituitary, that is composed of connective tissue he is given. It is composed of neural tissue, not the connective tissue. Only here is the mistake. 22th question. In adults, adenohypophysis accounts for the 75% of the total weight of the gland and consists of A. pars distalis, B. pars tubularis and then pars intermedia, C. pars nervosa, D. pars intermedia. So here the right option is option actually adenohypophysis has both pars distalis, pars tubularis and then pars intermedia. So we'll go with both. E option. I am adding one more option, both A and B. So the right option will be this one. Next question, 23. Which of the following hormone is secreted by pars intermedia? Which of the hormone is secreted by pars intermedia? Prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, melanocyte stimulating hormone. So here the right option is option D. Here pars distalis, which is the secrets most of the anterior pituitary hormones like prolactin, I can say, thyroid stimulating hormone, I can say, and then adrenocorticotropic hormone. So these three, whatever A, B and then C is there, no, that will be released by pars distalis. Whereas if we talk about pars intermedia, it is going to almost it is going to be responsible for specifically, that is this one, melanocyte stimulating hormone, that is MSH, I can write in the short. Next question, question number 24. Which of the following statement is incorrect about the posterior pituitary? Incorrect, he is asking. A. Posterior pituitary lobe is not a true endocrine gland. Yes, of course, this one is correct. it serves as a hormone storage region, right? The posterior pituitary lobe and then infundibulum together make neurohypophysis. This one is also right. Oxytocin and vasopressin hormones are synthesized in the posterior pituitary lobe. This one is wrong, because oxytocin and vasopressin are actually synthesized in the hypothalamus, and then they are transported to the posterior pituitary, where they are stored and then released. So they are not synthesized by the posterior pituitary. So this one is wrong. Next, 25. Malfunctioning of endocrine gland deviates the body from homeostasis and causes several disorders. Which of the following disorder is correctly matched with its respective endocrine gland? Gigantism, hyposecretion of the growth hormone. Yes, this one is right. And this is also called as hypersecretion of GH, but it occurs in the children before the growth, that is growth plates have closed, isn't it? So this one is next. Dwarfism. This is caused by hypersecretion of growth hormone is given, under production of GH, that is during again childhood. This is not hyper, this is actually hypo, and this one is not hypo, this one is hyper actually. Next, acromegaly. This is hypersecretion of growth hormone is given. Yes, this one is right. Overproduction of growth hormone, especially in adults, which leads to acromegaly. Next, D, gigantism, hypersecretion of the somatotropin. So here the right option is option C. 26th one. Hypersecretion of growth hormone in adult does not cause a further increase in height because muscle fibers do not grow in size after birth, growth hormones become inactive in the adults, epiphyseal plates close after adolescence, bones close their sensitivity to growth hormones adults. So here the right option is option C. Next question, question number 27. A person is diagnosed with hypersecretion of the growth hormone due to a pituitary tumor. Select the incorrect statement about his medical condition. A. Hypersecretion of the growth hormone would cause hyperglycemia. Yes, of course, this one is right. B. There will be a reduced secretion of the insulin. Yes, insulin secretion would remain unaffected. This one is wrong. Hypersecretion of the growth hormone results in the diabetic effects. Yes, this one is wrong. Why this C is incorrect? Because the body actively tries to manage the GH induced hyperglycemia. Insulin level do not remain unaffected, they usually rise significantly eventually, isn't it? This constant demand can lead to beta cell burnout or else insulin resistance. That's what this one is wrong. Next, 28th question. Hypersecretion of prolactin hormone in females causes inappropriate lactation and absence of the menstrual cycle. Based on the given information, select the pair of correct statement. Correct statement he is asking. Prolactin is required for milk ejection from mammary gland. A statement. So prolactin is required for the milk ejection from the mammary gland. This one is false because prolactin is really responsible for the milk production. Oxytocin is hormone required for the milk ejection. Okay, production ejection is different here. And then B, the blood level of the prolactin is increased just before menstruation. Yes, this one is right. The prolactin levels naturally rises during the late luteal phase, which can contribute the breast tenderness, I can say. C, that is, during pregnancy, prolactin inhibiting hormone suppresses the release of the prolactin. This one is wrong actually. During pregnancy, what happens? Prolactin level increases significantly. And then D, sucking action of the newborn inhibits the release of PIH, that is prolactin inhibiting hormone. Yes, this one is true. When a baby suckles, it sends the signals to the hypothalamus to inhibit the release of the prolactin inhibiting hormone. This allows what? Prolactin levels to rise and continuous milk production. So here only B and then D are right. B and D are right. So the right option is D. Next question, that is question number 29. Select the option that correctly matches the hormone with its source, endocrine gland and respective function, that is target organs. So hormone is given, endocrine gland is given, and then function is given. Here which one is correctly matched? TSH, and endocrine gland is anterior gland. Function, it is only target organ is thyroid gland, not all the cells, isn't it? Only thyroid gland. Next here, ACTH, it's endocrine gland, not the posterior one. Actually it's anterior pituitary, not the posterior. Stimulates secretion of the glucocorticoids. This one is right, but not the posterior pituitary. LH, anterior pituitary, right, and triggers secretion of the triggers secretion of androgens in the males. This one is right. FSH, posterior pituitary. This is not posterior, this is anterior pituitary, must be. And stimulates the growth of ovarian follicle, right. Here what happens? This one is wrongly matched. This one is right, but this one is wrong. Here also this one is wrong, and this one is statement is right. So here the right option is option C. Next question, that is question number 30. Which of the following set of hormones are called gonadotropins? A, GH and LH, B, LH and FSH, C, LH and ACTH, D, FSH and TSH. So here the right option is option B. Luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormones are said to be what? Gonadotropins. Next, 31st question. The target cells or structures of FSH and luteinizing hormone in human males are A, interstitial cells and Sertoli cells respectively, B, Sertoli cells and interstitial cells respectively, C, interstitial cells only, D, Sertoli cells only. So here the right option is option B. You know that target cells of FSH and LH. FSH, that is Follicle stimulating hormone acts on a Sertoli cells, whereas LH acts on a interstitial cells. It's also known as Leydig cells, interstitial one. Next, 32. LH is required for fertility in females because it maintains corpus luteum. Yes, it's right. It induces ovulation. Yes, this one is also right. That is LH, that is luteinizing hormone, is very essential for the female fertility because of inducing ovulation and maintaining the corpus luteum. So both A and B are correct here. So the right option is option D. Why C is wrong? It stimulates the release of the FSH from the corpus luteum. No, actually FSH is released by the anterior pituitary gland, not by the corpus luteum. Next, 33. Which of the following hormone is incorrectly matched with its target organ? MSH, melanocytes. This one is right. Acts on melanocytes, MSH. Next, oxytocin, smooth muscles. This one is also right. Vasopressin, that is distal tubules of kidney. Yes, this one is also right. Whereas D, that is ADH, antidiuretic hormone, which is also known as vasopressin, its primary target is distal convoluted tubules and collecting ducts. So here he is given glomerulus, isn't it? So this one is wrong. So the right option is D. Which one is incorrectly matched, he is asking. 34th one. Diuresis refers to A. Loss of water through urine. Correct. This one itself is correct. Diuresis refers to what? A physiological process where increased, or else I can say excessive, production of the urine by the kidney. Next, diabetes, 35th question. Diabetes insipidus is caused by A. Hyposecretion of insulin by the pancreas. B. Hyposecretion of ADH by the posterior pituitary. Increased sensitivity of the kidneys for the ADH. Hypersecretion of ADH by the posterior pituitary. So here the right option is option B. Hyposecretion of the ADH by the posterior pituitary. Next question, question number 36. Assertion and reason type of the question. Assertion: TSH stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete thyroid hormones. Here this one is right. Next, reason: the hormones of anterior pituitary that regulates the secretion of the other endocrine glands are called tropic hormones. Yes, this one is also right. So both are right, and then reason is correct explanation of assertion. That's what the option A is right here. Next, again one more assertion and reason type of the question. 37th one. Here the given assertion is hyposecretion of the growth hormone causes stunned growth in the infants. Yes, this one is true. Next, epiphyseal plates are closed after the childbirth. This one is false actually. Epiphyseal plates are a area of active cartilage at the end of the long bones that allow for growth. They do not close after the childbirth. Instead, they remain open throughout the childhood and adolescence. They typically close only after the puberty, which is when a person stops growing taller, isn't it? So he is given what? Closed after childbirth he is given, but they are not actually closed. So here the right option will be option C, because assertion is true and then reason is false. Next question, that is question number 38. Again assertion and reason type of the question. Assertion given is hypersecretion of GH during childhood causes acromegaly. This one is wrong because hypersecretion of GH during the childhood leads to gigantism, not the acromegaly. It is actually caused by hypersecretion of the GH in adults, not in childs. Reason, the growth hormone regulates the fluid electrolytes balance of the body. Yes, this one is right. So assertion is wrong and reason is true. We'll go with D. Next, 39th one. Assertion and reason. Assertion is given ADH secretion is stimulated under the condition of dehydration. Yes, this one is true. ADH prevents water loss from the body by decreasing the urine volume. This one is also true. That's what, and it is correct explanation also. So A is right. Next questions from pineal gland. 40th question. Which of the following set of function is not regulated by the hormone of the pineal gland? A. Diurnal rhythm and body temperature. Next, metabolism and pigmentation, growth of bones and defense capability. D. Diurnal rhythm and defense capability. So here he is asking set of function not regulated by the hormone of the pineal gland. So here the right option is option C, growth of the bones and then defense capability. Next question, that is question number 41. Which of the following hormone exhibits an anti-gonadotropic effect in humans? Anti-gonadotropic effect in the humans. A. ADH. B. Thyroxine. C. Melatonin. D. ACTH. So here the right option is option C, melatonin, which is produced by pineal gland. Next, from thyroid gland. A 42th question. Following is the diagrammatic view of the posterior of endocrine gland. Select the option that correctly labels the glands and their respective hormones. Here first one, thyroid gland and thyroxine and TSH is given. Second one, parathyroid gland, PTH. C. Second one is thyroid gland and thyroxine and calcitonin. D. First one is parathyroid gland, PTH and then calcitonin. So here the right option will be option C. Because first one is labeled, that is a parathyroid gland actually. These are the four small pea-sized glands located on the posterior, that is back side surface of the thyroid. They secrete what? Parathyroid hormone. And whereas second one, that is thyroid gland, this is the large butterfly shaped gland. It secretes two primary hormones, that is T4 and calcitonin. So C is right here. Why A is wrong? TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone, is secreted by pituitary gland, not the thyroid. This one, pituitary gland, okay, not the thyroid gland. Why B? While the label 2 points to the thyroid, this option incorrectly identifies it as a parathyroid. This is not a parathyroid one. Okay na? Next question, that is question number 43. The thyroid gland is composed of. The thyroid gland is composed of stromal tissue only, follicle only, stromal tissues and follicles, and isthmus. So here the right option is option C, stromal tissue and follicles. Next, 44th one. Most of the T4 is converted into T3 in the target tissue because A. T4 is more active, B. T3 is more active, C. T4 has a shorter half-life, D. Follicular cells cannot synthesize T3. So here the right option is option B. Next, 45. Thyroid hormones are required for the normal growth and development of the human because A. Thyroid hormones increase the basal metabolic rate in the most body tissues. Thyroid hormones are regulated by negative feedback system. Thyroid hormones contain iodine atoms. Thyroid hormones stimulate glycogen formation. So among them the right option is option A. Next, 46th one. A group of tadpoles with no thyroxine hormone produced exhibited disrupted metamorphosis. Which of the following statement correctly describes the role of thyroid hormone in metamorphosis? Thyroid hormones lower the blood calcium level. Thyroid hormone increases blood calcium level. Thyroid hormone lowers the blood phosphate level. D. Thyroxine stimulates protein synthesis. This one is right. Next question, question number 47. Which of the following disorders of the endocrine system is incorrectly matched? Incorrectly matched with its description. Hypothyroidism, iodine deficiency. Yes, this one is right. Goitre, enlarged thyroid gland. This one is also right. Hyperthyroidism, cretinism. This one is wrong actually. Cretinism actually it's a condition of severely stunned physical and then mental growth due to the untreated congenital deficiency of the thyroid hormone, that is hypothyroidism, not the hyper. So here this one is mismatched. 48th question. Which of the given statement correctly differentiates myxedema from Graves' disease? A. Hypothyroidism in adults ages causes Graves' disease. B. Graves' disease is more common among the male than the female. Myxedema causes swelling in facial tissues due to the accumulation of the interstitial fluid. Myxedema is an autoimmune disorder. So here the right option is option C. Next one, that is 49. The Graves' disease is caused due to, and it is already asked in NEET 2016, that is exactly 10 years back. Here, hyposecretion of thyroid gland, hypersecretion of the thyroid gland. So Graves' disease is caused due to the hypersecretion of the thyroid gland. 50th one. Assertion and reason type. Thyroid hormones regulate oxygen consumption and basal metabolic rate of the body cells. Yes, this one is right. B. Thyroid hormones reduce the number of active mitochondria in body cells. This one is wrong actually, because thyroid hormone actually increases, not reduces the number of active mitochondria. So here we will go with the option C. Option C. Next, from parathyroid gland, 51. The physiological role of parathyroid gland does not include increased activity of the osteoclasts, bone resorption, reduce loss of calcium and magnesium ions into urine, reduce loss of HPO4 to minus into the urine. So here the right option is option D. Next question, that is question number 52. Which of the following hormone can play a significant role in osteoporosis? So here the right option is option aldosterone, prolactin, progesterone, aldosterone, estrogen and parathyroid hormone and prolactin. So here the right option is option C. Next, 53. Which of the following pairs of hormones have antagonistic effect? T3, T4, ACTH and glucocorticoids, PTH and TCT, T3 and TSH. So here the right option is PTH and TCT, that is thyrocalcitonin. Next, 54th one, assertion and reason type of the question. Assertion, here it is given calcitonin and PTH exhibit an antagonistic effect on the blood level of calcium ions. Yes, this one is true, they are antagonistic. Reason, insulin and glucagon exhibit antagonistic effects on the blood vessels of the glucose. This one is also true. Both are true, but reason is not correct explanation. So we will go with B. Next, thymus gland, 55. Endocrine gland that functions as a component of the lymphatic system is thyroid, thymus, parathyroid, pineal. So here the right option is option B. Next one, 56. Which of the following endocrine gland is responsible for reduced immune response in old ages? Thyroid, pineal, thymus, pituitary. Here the right option is thymus. C. Next, from adrenal gland. Adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla differ from each other in terms of histology, function, origin, all of this. Here the right option is all of this. So there is a small trick to remember adrenaline. It is helpful for fight or flight. That is adrenaline, which is emergency hormone, we can say. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Dog chasing you, adrenaline rushes. So next question, that is 58th one. The endocrine gland present at the top of kidney and involved in the fluid electrolyte balance of the body is A. Adrenal gland, B. Pineal gland, C. Parathyroid gland, D. Pancreas. So here the right option is A. Adrenal gland. Next, 59. Which of the following categories of hormone is correctly matched with its example? So A. Catecholamines, that is adrenaline and noradrenaline. This one itself is right. 60th question. Consider the following statement. Some chemicals act as both neurotransmitters and hormones. Yes, this one is correct. Example, if I say norepinephrine, isn't it, is a primary example for this, because it functions as a neurotransmitter when released by the released by the neurons, and as a hormone when it is released by the bloodstream by the adrenal medulla. So this one is right. Norepinephrine is released as a neurotransmitter by sympathetic division. Yes, this one is right. Just now I said about that. Norepinephrine is released as a hormone by the thyroid gland. This one is gone wrong here. Not by the thyroid gland, it is by the adrenal gland. So this one is wrong. D. Norepinephrine is released as a hormone by the parathyroid gland. This one is also incorrect. So here only A and B are correct. Correct statement he is asking A and B. So the right option is option A. Next, 61. Secretion of the hormone from adrenal medulla is controlled by parasympathetic nervous system, pituitary gland, and C, sympathetic nervous system, D, peripheral nervous system. So here the right option is option C, that is secreted by the hormone from the adrenal medulla is controlled by sympathetic nervous system. So the 62th one, the flight or the flight respond generally by the release of the hormone by adrenal medulla includes A, dilation of the pupil and increased heart rate and blood pressure, B, glycogenolysis and lipid synthesis, C, increased muscular movement of the gastrointestinal tract, and then D, reduced blood sugar level. So here the right option for this is obviously the A1, dilation of the pupils and increased heart rate and then blood pressure. Next question, that is question number 64. Glucocorticoids are involved in A, fluid electrolyte balance, B, carbohydrate metabolism, C, water reabsorption from the kidney, D, regulation of the blood glucose level. So here the right option is option B. Next, 65. Which of the following sets of physiological functions correctly describes the role of cortisol in the human body? And this question is from NCERT exemplar. A, anti-inflammatory response and suppression of the immune response. B, breakdown of the RBCs in the spleen. C, upregulation of the uptake of the amino acids. D, reabsorption of the sodium from the kidneys. So here the right option is option A. Actually, cortisol is the glucocorticoid produced by the adrenal cortex. It is well known for its anti-inflammatory property, isn't it? And it is ability to suppress the immune system also. That's what the first option itself is right here. 66. Target organ or structure of the aldosterone is renal calyx, renal tubules, glomerulus, and Bowman's capsule. So here the right option is option B. Assertion and reason type of the question, 67th one. Assertion here, adrenal medullary hormones regulate the fluid electrolyte balance of the body. This one is wrong actually, because adrenal cortex is regulates the electrolyte balance, not the adrenal medullary. This word itself is wrong. Reason here it is, aldosterone is a glucocorticoid that raises blood sodium level. This one is also wrong, because aldosterone is not responsible for the glucocortical raise in the bloodstream. So both are wrong. We'll go with this one, and here assertion is false and then reason is also false. Let me write like this, false. Okay, now 67th one, the correct option is option D. Next questions from Pancreas, 68th one. Which of the following pairs of endocrine glands are composite glands? A. Pancreas and thymus glands, adrenal glands and thymus glands, pancreas and adrenal gland, adrenal and then pineal gland. So here the right option is option A itself. Composite glands means heterocrine gland, I can say. It is that has both exocrine and the endocrine function. So here example you can give pancreas and then thymus gland. Insulin in and glucagon goes out. When insulin is going in, blood sugar level will be more. If glucagon is more, blood sugar level will be lower. So insulin stores the sugar and glucagon releases the sugar. 69th question. The cells that make about 70% of cells of the pancreatic islets serves to secrete A. Insulin, B. Glucagon. Pancreatic islets serves to secrete what? Insulin. Blindly you can go with this option, isn't it? Next, 70th one. Alpha and delta cells of pancreatic islets are the source of glucagon and insulin respectively. Somatostatins and glucagon respectively. Glucagon and somatostatins respectively. So here the 70th one question number right option is option C. Next, 71. Which of the following hormone is correctly matched with its description or else effect? Hyperglycemia hormone, that is glucagon. Yes, this one itself is right here. Next, 72. Which statement correctly differentiates glycogenolysis from glycogenesis? Glycogenosis from glycogenesis. Glycogenolysis is the formation of glycogen from the glucose and is triggered by the glucagon. No, it's wrong. Glycogenesis is a breakdown of the glycogen into glucose and triggered by the insulin. No. Glycogenesis is conversion. Yes, this word must be there. Glucose into glycogen and it is stimulated by the insulin. Actually, glycogenesis, when the genesis word is comes, then it means what? Conversion. So here the right option is option C. So the next question is question number 73. Diabetes mellitus is a disorder of carbohydrates metabolism and is characterized by polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia and all of this. So as you already know, so 3 P's, isn't it? You can remember like that, 3 P's of the diabetes mellitus. So all the 3 P's are here. So the right option is all of this. Polyuria, that is excessive urination. Polydipsia, that is excessive thirst. And then polyphagia, that is excessive hunger. 3 P's of the diabetes mellitus. Next, that is question number 74. Water soluble fuel that are normally exported by the liver but overproduced during the fasting or diabetes mellitus when not treated are known as A. Fatty acids, B. Glucose, C. Ketone bodies and then D. Amino acids. So they are known as what? Ketone bodies. Next question, that is question number 75. Here the question is given, match the following type of the question, column 1 with column 2, and this question is appeared already in the year 2019 NEET. So this is a PYQ. Here insulin matches with diabetes mellitus, of course A is 5, and thyroxine is for Addison's disease, isn't it? Yes. Next, corticoids, it is for diabetes insipidus, and then growth hormone, which is for acromegaly. So here the right option is A itself. See, if you guess only at least you know you are confident with any of the two, you will get the right option in the match the following kind of questions. So the next one from the test is, that is 76th one. The dash are the oval glands present in the scrotum and serves to secrete the hormones, that is A, ovaries and androgen, B, testes and testosterone, C, pineal gland and melatonin, D, adrenal gland and cortisol. So here the right option is testes and testosterone. For the reproductive hormones, gonads are there, two types that will be helpful for that, that is testes and ovaries. Testes release testosterone, that is T for T, and ovaries release estrogen and progesterone, that is E and then P. You can remember like that, E and P means egg and then pregnancy, like that by the short memory you can remember. Ovary releases estrogen and progesterone, whereas testes testosterone. So this is for this question. Next, 77. Wait a minute. 77, yes. Which of the following is not a function of testes? A, spermatogenesis, B, sperm production, C, testosterone secretion, D, all of this. Which of the following is not a function of so option is not there, so I will change this option, write it as none. Okay, so we will go with the option D, small mistake. Next, 78th. Which of the following structure or cell of a testis is incorrectly matched with its function? So here A, seminiferous tubules, spermatogenesis, yes, this one is right. Sustentacular cells secretion of what? FSH is given, but it is not secretion of FSH. Instead it is going to secreted by what? Anterior pituitary gland. So this one is wrong here. 78th right option will be B, because this is wrongly matched. We'll go with other two also. C, interstitial cells secreted by testosterone, yes, this one is right. And Sertoli cells, nourishment of the developing spermatogenesis, spermatogonic cell, this one is also right. So for the 78th, B is wrong. B is right option, which is wrongly matched. 79th one, testes serve as an endocrine gland. Which of the given statement about testicular hormone is correct? So here A, LH from the posterior pituitary stimulates interstitial cells to secrete testosterone. This one is wrong, because it's not from the posterior pituitary. LH releases from the anterior pituitary, isn't it? B, testosterone suppresses the secretion of LH and gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH, by the positive feedback mechanism. This one is also wrong, because this one is not a positive feedback mechanism, this is negative feedback mechanism actually. So the C, FSH and testosterone stimulates the sustentacular cells to stimulate the secretion of the androgen building protein. This one is right. And testosterone stimulates the process of spermatogenesis. This one is incorrect, because it is helpful for the maturation. Testosterone stimulates. So the right option for the 79th one is C. Next question, that is question number 80. The function of inhibin hormone is A, inhibits the FSH secretion, B, inhibits the testosterone secretion, C, inhibits spermatogenesis, and then D, stimulates spermatogenesis. So here the right option is option A. It inhibits the secretion of FSH. Next, 81. Which of the given set of organs represents the male accessory sex organs? Epididymis and testis, vasa deferens and testis, C. Seminal vesicle and prostate gland, urethra and then oviduct. So accessory sex organs are accessory duct and then accessory gland. So here accessory duct is accessory gland and then glands like seminal vesicle and then prostate gland. He is asking accessory sex organs. So the C will be right for that. 82th question. The hormone responsible for the descent of testes into the scrotum is FSH, LH, testosterone and inhibin. So here the right option is option C. Next, 83. The function of testosterone in human male is development of male secondary sex characters, sexual characters. Yes, this one is right. Male sexual behavior, this one is also right. So both A and B are right here. 84th one, assertion and reason type of the question. In human males, LH is required for sperm production. Yes, this one is true. That is, luteinizing hormone is required for the sperm production as it stimulates the Leydig cells to produce testosterone, which is essential for the spermatogenesis, isn't it? So assertion is right. Reason, FSH and testosterone stimulates the interstitial cells to secrete androgen binding protein. Yes, this one is also true. So both are true and then correct reason is not the correct explanation. So the right option is option B. Now questions from ovary. 85th one, androgens are responsible for libido in the both human males and then females. The source of androgen in human female is A. ovaries, B. oviduct, C. corpus luteum, D. adrenal cortex. So here the right option is option D, adrenal cortex, the outer layer of the adrenal gland, which is produced small amount of the androgens. Next one, 86th one. Which of the following set of the hormone is known as female sex hormones? I said, isn't it, to remember, female sex hormones means E and then G, estrogen and then progesterone, E for egg and then P for pregnancy. So here E and P, that is E and then P is there. So the right option will be B. T for T, that is testis for testosterone, ovaries, that is for the females, estrogen and progesterone, egg and then pregnancy, like that you can remember. 87th one, match the following type of question. Column 1 with column 2. Ovarian follicle which releases estrogen, right? A is 4. See, if A is 4, these two are eliminated method you must use here. Corpus luteum is for progesterone. Corpus luteum releases progesterone. B is 1. So the right option is option B. 4, 1, 2, 3. Next, 88th one. A temporary endocrine gland in the human body is, and it is PYQ which is asked in NEET 2017. Pineal gland, corpus cardiacum, corpus luteum, corpus allatum. So here the right option is corpus luteum. Next, 89th question. Which of the following statement is incorrect about effects and regulation of the female sex hormones? A. Ovarian and uterine cycles are under the regulation of gonadotropin releasing hormones. Yes, of course, this one is correct. B. In females, FSH triggers the development of the follicles. Yes, this one is correct. Ovarian follicles secrete estrogen under the influence of the FSH and LH. This one is also correct. Whereas D. The estrogen from the ovarian follicle is converted into progesterone. This one is not correct because estrogen is not converted into progesterone. They are two different hormones. While they are both steroids, steroid derivative hormones, okay, derived from the cholesterols. Progesterone is primarily secreted by corpus luteum, not created by the estrogen. So this statement itself is wrong. Next, 90th one. Which of the following hormone regulates the formation of corpus luteum and stimulates it to release hormones? FSH, LH, estrogen and androgen. So here the right option is option B, LH, that is luteinizing hormone, which triggers what? Ovulation and transforms the ruptured follicles into the corpus luteum. 91. Which of the following hormone is secreted by the corpus luteum? A. Estrogen, B. Progesterone, C. Relaxin, D. LH. So here the right option is option B, progesterone. 92th question. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Incorrect, he is asking. Testes and ovary functions as a primary sex organs as well as endocrine gland. Yes, of course. Testes and ovary are the primary sex organs which is producing gametes and also functions as endocrine glands because they are secreting hormones like testosterone and then estrogen. So that is correct. B. Ovaries are located in the thoracic cavity of the females. This one is wrong because ovaries are located in the pelvic cavity, not in the thoracic cavity. Okay, now that is chest area. Thoracic area means chest area. They are not in the thoracic cavity, they are present in the pelvic cavity. So this one itself is the incorrect one. Ovary produce ovum, two groups of these steroid hormones, that is estrogen and then progesterone. This one is right. Ovaries is composed of ovarian follicle and stromal tissue. Yes, this one is also right. Next, 92. This is again repeated. Next, 94th one. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted into Graafian follicle, corpus callosum, FSH and LH. So here the right option is option B, that is corpus. Actually it must be corpus luteum, not corpus callosum. So make it as corpus luteum. Next, 95th question. The hormone responsible to prepare and maintain endometrium for the implantation of the fertilized ovum is FSH, LH, progesterone and inhibin. So here the right option is progesterone, which is responsible for secreted by the corpus luteum, which is responsible when it thickens the uterine lining and makes it secreted to support the potential pregnancy. And here FSH, which is for what? And it stimulates the growth of the ovarian follicle. LH is triggering for the ovulation and inhibit the secretion of the FSH. 96th one. Assertion and reason type. Corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland. So this one is correct. Yes, indeed it is a temporary endocrine gland because it forms in a ovary from the remaining of the follicle after the ovulation. That's what. And reason, corpus luteum secretes female sex hormone. Yes, of course it secretes progesterone. So both are right. So the right option is option A. Next, hormones of heart, kidney and gastrointestinal tract. 97th question. Atrial natriuretic hormone, that is ANF, first factor secreted by the atrial wall of our heart, has exactly the opposite function of this hormone secreted by the zona glomerulosa. Which one? ADH, aldosterone, androgen and calcitonin. So here aldosterone is the right option. What is the difference actually? ANF, which decreases the blood pressure, whereas aldosterone increases the blood pressure. This is the antagonistic function, I can say. 98th one, match the following. Progesterone, column 1 with column 2, option A here. Progesterone, it is helpful for the formation of alveoli in the mammalian gland, isn't it? Mammary gland. So A is 3. A is 3 means the right option will be option C. 99th question. ANF, which already I said about this, isn't it? Which decreases BP. Yes, correct. Which causes vasodilation. Once it is released, it acts as a powerful vasodilation, which means what? It releases the smooth muscles of the blood vessels to widen them, isn't it? And C, it's secreted when BP is increased. Yes, obviously to decrease the BP. So all of them are correct. 101, centurieth question and then last question. Gastrin, secretin, cholecytosine, cytokinin and gastric inhibitory peptidin, that is GIP, are 4 major peptide hormones secreted by A, only stomach, no. B, only small intestine. C, gastrointestinal tract. Yes, C is right. Gastrointestinal tract, that is gastrin. It is primarily secreted by G cells in the stomach, and secretin, I will write here. Gastrin is secreted by G cells in stomach, whereas secretin, it is secreted by S cells in the duodenum. Here G cells, here S cells, where in duodenum. Whereas cholecyclor, wait a minute, CCK, in short you can remember, which is secreted by I cells in duodenum. And whereas ZIP, that is gastric inhibitory peptide, which is secreted by K cells, again by duodenum and jejunum. So here the right option is option C. So today this is the last question for today's discussion. I hope everybody is clarified with the concepts. If you like my videos and then my explanation, please subscribe and like to my channel. If you have any queries, if you have any suggestions, you can comment in a comment box. You can drop it there. Thank you very much.